Peace and love. Hope all is well. Hope you're feeling blessed and safe and high vibrational. Now in this video, we'll be doing a godly trio and we'll be connecting with 3 energies. I'm not too sure which energies we'll be connecting with just yet. But we'll be pulling them from the Keepers of Light Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. Now, I'm just in a bit of a smiley mood because I just feel like I've just kind of got my mojo back when it comes to channeling and connecting with energy. Like the last week I've kind of just been dealing with my own kind of ascension, my own healing, my own growth, and you know the journey is never over, and there's just a couple of things that I had to kind of address to kind of move forward, and I just feel so like elated and just happy, and now I'm just back to film and connect. So for April 2021 we haven't actually done a godly trio connection or connection with any kind of like celebrity energy or for some reason I'm hearing archetype, but I'm ascended master. We've done Gaia, but we're gonna pull 3 energies from the Keepers of Light deck and see what energies want to present themselves. We'll see what they have to say to us today. So they're taking the time today. So we have charity, prayer and contemplation. Connect with heaven, asking you shall receive. She's obviously bringing forward an energy of love. Okay, we have the Divine Director, intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. Now for me, this is also my card for my guide, Prince Rogers Nelson. And to be honest with you, he was probably one of the energies that I was feeling. Not probably he was one of the energies. He was one of the energies that I was feeling the other day with regards to me needing to connect with them and channel a message or just pull cards for them on the channel, because I felt like I hadn't done a connection with him for a while and I was just feeling his energy, and he's popped out now. Let's see what other energy we have. For some reason both cards are giving me an energy of like stubbornness and like being stern for some reason. Sanat Kumara, light activation. Shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. This kind of makes sense, and for some reason I feel like this card is directly talking to me. Today I didn't have to, but I shared something with a friend, and after I shared it, I just had this sense like freedom. Now I feel free. And then after I shared that, I began to see vibrations and waves within the physical world, obviously, and that just let me know, okay, I'm going through an activation now. I'm transcending, or I'm just ascending and raising my vibration. It's like the more truth we express, the more we be ourselves, the more light we can embody, the more of ourselves we can kind of show. It's like the more truth we express, the more filters we remove, which is what's coming from this card. Okay. So Sanat Kumara is bringing me to the eyes, and I'm being brought to like hypnosis and a hypnotic state. And for some reason it feels like the true self, it's almost like being in a hypnotic state. But it's like something to do with peace. When you reach a certain level of peace, but now they're saying like a certain level of knowing of self, or a certain understanding of self, or a certain embodiment of self. Once you get to a certain level, there's a level of peace and this level of peace is being linked to like an hypnotic state. It's almost like you walk the world in a hypnotic state. Well, you're not hypnotized, you're just in peace, if that makes sense. Because it's like you become the light. Instead of like you working with the light, you become it, which is represented in the white hair, the holding of this staff, the white garment. Okay. So Prince is kind of saying, and he's actually coming through in this card, not the Divine Director. Prince is saying to go look beyond the surface, look beyond who you think you are, who you think you know what you thought to be true about yourself is not true. Something about whatever is on surface level, whatever you just think about yourself and have never kind of questioned, or this even negative things, he's saying that it's not you. There's a depth to you that only can be discovered by you and only can be expressed by you. So therefore, and he's saying that people can only get to know this depth of you, or get to know the real authentic you, by you expressing it. So he's saying that we need to go beyond, go deeper, and look at ourselves and find who we really are. He's saying, and it's all connected to the mind, all the answers are in your mind. But when he's saying the mind, I'm seeing that he's saying the mind, but I'm seeing the heart. Now, he's saying, now I don't know this to be true in terms of like a medical sense, but he's saying that the heart and the brain are one and the same. And he's saying that in the spiritual community, there is a lot of separation when it comes to the heart and the mind. For some reason, he's saying that there's like we disconnect them, but they are they're one and the same. Yes, the mind is what we use a lot of the time, but our heart is a lot powerful, not a lot more powerful, but something about amplitude or its resonance, or something about it's a bit bigger, but it's not that it's better or different from your brain. It's like they're one and the same, but they're just different components of the same thing. It's like different components of the same thing. And it's like both, I've just seen this in this triangle, both the heart and the mind can lead you to transcendence. He's saying, Prince is saying either one. Because he's bringing me to the fact that, yes, and he's saying like me and my path, and he's saying what I teach, and I don't consider myself a teacher or anything like that, but he's saying what I teach, it's about the heart. But he's saying that a lot of spiritualists connect with the heart, but a lot of them don't connect with the mind. He's okay. I'm having a kind of conversation. He's saying like they connect with their mind because obviously to be an intuitive, you are connecting with your mind and, you know, creating a sacred space in your mind or whatever, or however your techniques are. And he's saying that sorry, it literally just disappeared. It disappeared. But he's saying that the mind can transform. Something about the mind can cause just as much ascension as the heart, because in the spiritual community it's about connecting back with the heart, and all the answers are within. And if you connect with your heart and you connect with love, then you are connecting with source. But he's saying that the mind can connect you to source. The mind connects you to source. The mind can connect you to love too. He's saying that your heart and your mind are tools for you to use to ascend. Okay. Prayer and contemplation, charity, what she's saying. Obviously the card says connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. Okay, it's funny. So this card's giving me the energy of your heart and love. This card's giving me the energy of the mind. And they both give me, oh my, that is so strange. In the beginning of the read, I said that both of these cards are giving me like a stubborn energy. And it's all about like intensity within the eyes, like they are one and the same. Going back to the message of the heart and the mind being one and the same. And it's almost like these two individuals could pass for twins, male and female twins. Again, being one of the same egg. They even have the same colour eyes, same skin complexion. But she's saying to open up. She's saying that we all bear fruits. But when she's saying that we all bear fruits, it's more so like, again, the answers are within. And I know I'm not really saying anything that isn't already out there, but I can only say what energy is giving. It's like we hold the answers within our palms. But again, it's not about the palms in this one, it's about the heart and where her hands are positioned above her heart, in front of her heart. And she's saying, open up, or even open up this way. She's saying, look within, inner reflection. But again, she's bringing me to the mind and the love of the mind. And even though this card was about the heart, again, it's like, with all these roses around her crown chakra and this around her crown, it's like the heart is that of her mind. And again, going back to the heart and the mind being one and the same, and being able to access love and connect to source from the mind. Okay, let's pull one or two cards from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. Let's see what collective message or messages they have to give, and then we'll see where we're led and maybe channel a message from the three, as we normally do. So we're just going to read the contents of the box. Guardians of the four corners, Mother in the earth, Father in the sky, angels, ancestors, sacred ones, I call on you and welcome you here now. I set the intention that whatever is gained from the lessons learned from this tool will be dedicated to the growth of all beings in all places. Okay. Godly Trio, April 2021. The moon. That is so interesting. Take note of intuitive messages. That makes so much sense because I was actually just outside a moment ago. It's kind of late. I'm not sure what time it is. Let me see. So it's 20 to 2 in the mornings, and I was just outside before filming, and I was staring at the moon, and I just thought that there was a message from the moon that needed to be expressed, and the moon cards came out. Oh, that's so strange. It's not strange, I'm sorry. 14:14 on the clock for confirmation for me. It's that I just seen like the three energies like step aside, and it was like they said we're like giving the floor over to the moon. And it also makes sense. Take note of intuitive messages is what this card's saying. Like there's an intuitive message coming in from the moon. The moon is actually is talking about emotions. And they're saying that there's incoming emotions, but they're saying like it's on two different scales. There are going to be people that are extremely emotionally stable and emotionally grounded, and then there are going to be people that are in emotional turmoil or feel out of balance or out of alignment. I'm hearing, what are you called to heal? What are you called to remove? What are you called to acknowledge? The moon's talking about healing. And it's saying, for some reason I want to say she's saying, I'm just getting a feminine energy at the moment. And this, she's saying, whatever you acknowledge is the vibration that you're in at the moment, or within that present moment, which makes sense, obviously, that's kind of obvious, but there's something about, at this time, whatever our attention is on is what we are going to manifest in terms of an emotional experience. Okay, the moon's saying that we are our own triggers. We're going straight back to the mind again. That what we think is what's going, when we think something, our body then automatically reacts and starts sending chemicals and does its own thing really automatically. And what we think also affects the frequency that we are, and what the frequency that we are, the frequency that we are emitting is what we are also attracting. So it basically is all going back to the thoughts. And what energy and the moon is saying is that whatever your attention is on is what's going to manifest basically at this time, but it's more so like, it's just like in terms of an emotional experience. If you are having happy thoughts, you're going to have happy emotions at this time basically. But if you are having thoughts of healing, or yes, if you're having thoughts of like, because energy is what you want to remove, so if you're having thoughts of removing toxic people or healing, doesn't mean that you're going to experience something negative. That's something positive that's going to occur, because you're taking certain actions, and that's going to put you in a vibration of attracting what is rightfully yours, or what is not pulling you out of alignment, if that makes sense. But then energy is also saying, but if you are putting your attention and awareness on anger and aggression, and for some reason energy just put George Floyd in my mind. And now I understand, obviously, there's a lot going on at the moment with him and his case and the trial and justice, and he's just got justice, which is amazing. And not really he's got justice, it's kind of like the world's got justice for him, or, you know, it doesn't really matter how I kind of am explaining this, but it's like they just put George Floyd in my mind, and it's like they're saying, be careful not to overwatch. Once you've seen one thing, do you need to see it 12 times over? It's like once you've seen him kind of lose his life, do you need to keep watching him lose his life? Is that kind of putting you in a lower vibration? Is that putting you in a frequency to attract experience like that, or to see other posts like that? And it's just saying, be aware of what you are watching, be aware of what frequencies you are allowing to affect you, be aware of triggers, and be aware that you are your main trigger, whether that is for positive or negative. Okay. Let's pull one more card. The seer. See beyond the current situation. Kind of makes sense with what we've been saying, again, about connecting with the mind, connecting with the intuition, seeing beyond, going further. But not just that, see beyond the current situation. For some reason I just feel like that's probably referring to George Floyd, because that's what's popping in my head. See beyond it. They're saying, see the play, see the orchestration. Energy saying all is not revealed, all is not seen, all all the people have not been seen. I don't know what that means regarding George Floyd, but all the people have not been seen. For some reason, it feels more so like behind the scenes, though. Like something was orchestrated. It's funny because I'm saying this, what energy is saying, but I was having I wasn't having a conversation. My mum was having a conversation with, I think, one of my brothers or something, just about what was on the news regarding George Floyd and his justice and that the officer's charges that he was charged with. And I think they said something about, I can't remember, either he was charged with second degree murder, third degree murder, but not first degree murder because it wasn't premeditated. But the way energy's making me feel is that there's more to what meets the eye. There's more that happened behind the scenes. I'm getting like an energy worker with this card. Like, I don't know why, I just feel like somebody tampered with something, energies, or even the person that did whatever is not, I don't know, really, I don't even know if I should really go this deep into this, but I just trust energy, so let's just continue. Basically, I just feel like the person that did whatever to George, I shouldn't really say what, sorry, I'm just getting a bit in my head at the moment. The person that killed George Floyd, had his knee on his neck, I just feel the sense that, I just want to say they're not all there in terms of like mentally, or they're not completely conscious or completely aware. And I'm being brought back to this card, the hypnotic state. Being in a hypnotic state. I don't know why, but I just feel like I want to cry. And it's, because when I look at that, the guy that did that to George Floyd, he's like, in his eyes, it's kind of like, not that he's lost yet, but you can see like a lack of something. I don't know what it is, but there's a lack of something. Energy's saying like clouded. He's being clouded, or his heart's being clouded. Something about his heart's being clouded. Like it needs to open. It's closed. But it's this person or this energy. Something to do with behind the scenes. Okay, let's pull one more card and see what energy's saying. And then we will consciously more so connect with just the three godly trio energies, and we will channel a message from them. Can I have one final card? Hunter. Track down your fears and desires. Hunter. Wow. It's just so heavy. Energy saying like, it's like they're giving me two messages. This is the person that did whatever to George Floyd. Like he was the hunter, but also he's the hunted. Wow. I'm getting this message in 3 cents. So he he's the hunter, as in obviously he killed George Floyd. He's the hunted, as in he's being hunted now, and in terms of like the world and social media and his court case and everything. But also energy saying that he was hunted in the beginning, going back to this behind the scenes energy, made to do something or under hypnotic state or trance or just something like not being himself. Like, it's like wearing a costume, like MK Ultra, like mind controlled or something. Just doesn't feel like this was just his own actions basically, or his own decision. There's something that just feels off, like robotic, mechanical. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know I make so many like noises and just I'm feeling so much, and my eyes just keep watering. And what energy just made me feel was that when he had his knee on his neck, oh, there's a moment when he would have been able to feel when the body went lifeless, and it's like energy made me feel that. But when that happened, it's like he didn't not feel it, but he didn't feel it because it's not in his body or something. Like, I can't explain all of these things because it's obviously what energy is saying, but obviously I wouldn't be crying if I wasn't feeling it so heavy. But it's like he was that disconnected, that in trance, or that just disconnected, that he just didn't feel like the life leave the body, or even when he felt the life leave the body, that didn't stop the act being done because it's about a task. Going back to this, so I think I should leave that bit there with George Floyd. I'm just gonna grab some sage just to quickly burn before we close our eyes and channel a message from the Godly Trio. BRB. I really was not expecting to channel anything on George Floyd or even be emotional, to be honest. Also, I apologize if anybody is triggered by any of these messages or anything, really. Okay. Let's close our eyes and channel a message from Charity, the Divine Director, who is being embodied by Prince Rogers Nelson, and Sanat Kumara. Time is of the essence. Don't be too shallow. Don't be too prideful. Don't be afraid to succeed. Don't be afraid to fall, to fail, to be flat on your face, to face injustice. Don't be afraid of those that seem that they are in power, because to seem in power or to even be in power is just a matter of perspective, a matter of positioning. We all need to take our own personal power. We all need to get our own personal morals in check. We all need to discover our own individual knowledge of self and who we are. We all need to be thankful, be grateful for life, for a chance to get to understand life, to overstand life, to experience life, to feel life. We must give thanks for living, for the dead, for the needy, for the wanting, for the wantless. We must open our hearts to feel pain, the pain of one another, the pain of your brother and sister, the pain of the animals. We must be able to cry in a stranger's arms without feeling uncomfortable, weird, strange, abnormal. We are all one and the same. We are all mirrors of one another. Therefore, why not support one another? In the support of one another is the support of yourself. It's time to really be the embodiment of love that you know you can be. It's time for you to be the love that you've always wanted. It's time for you to be the love for somebody else that you've always wanted. It's time to stand tall, to be an advocate of justice, to be an advocate for what's right, for what's wrong. We often want to put forward what is right and shy away from what is wrong. And it's time that we put both sides forward. Because when we present both sides, that's when we grow. That's when we bring wholeness. That's when we bring balance. That's when we bring unity to the table. There is no unity in neglecting an aspect, a thing, a person, one part of something. All is to be brought into the wholeness of everything. Therefore, that is race, age, gender, sexuality. Everything is meant to be brought into the bracket of unity. Anything that is left outside of the bracket of unity, there is no unity. It's time to step into bigger shoes. We've all been wearing shoes that are way too tight for us, that don't allow us to flex our toes, that don't allow us room to grow, to expand. We've all been settling for many, many years with the construct that we live, thinking that it's the most beneficial, thinking that that's all we need, thinking that there is no other way to experience life. But it's time to step into bigger shoes, to broaden our minds, to broaden our perspectives, to broaden our wants, to know that we are infinite, that we can create anything, that we can have anything, that we can manifest anything. It's time to step into bigger shoes, step out of our comfort zone and allow ourselves the space to grow, to illuminate and transform. We must continue to seek justice for all of those that deserve justice, and that's every single being on earth, right or wrong. Show your friends love, show your neighbour love, show your spirit team love, your energetic team love. Show the world that love lies within you and has always been within you, even on your darkest days. I thank you. We thank you. George thanks you. Naphtali thanks you. Benji thanks you. God thanks you. Peace and love. The godly trio. Ashe. Timeless. I'm pretty sure my stomach was rumbling throughout that whole channeling. I'm not sure though, but I think it was. Something tells me like that message was just necessary. I can't remember what I just said, to be honest, but whilst I was saying it, whilst the message was being expressed, it just felt so right. It's strange because it feels like this has been such an emotional, happy read. I just feel so positive even though I was feeling so emotional with what was coming through. But I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being present with me. If any of these messages have resonated, feel free to like, share, subscribe and join the journey. Peace and love. Ashe.